But moving on to the stream, the theme of the stream though, guys, is 10 bands that have aged like fine wine. I got myself a glass of wine for this. All right, guys. So yeah, the theme of my channel is pretty much core music. So number one band, again, this isn't ranking. So this is just the first band to pop up, but let me open up the window here. First band that came to mind is Every Time I Die. Unfortunately, the band, as we all know, broke up recently, but Every Time I Die was a band that's been around since, hold up, I have the information here, 1998. That's a long ass time, and the band continued to get better because first it sounded like this. This is their song Emergency Broadcast Syndrome. They have like two sides to the band. They have the chaotic mathcore kind of stuff, which is really intense, but then they kind of move into this like southern kind of rock stuff, but with like a metal edge. So very first song I ever heard from this band, and that is called The New Black. The band just continued to evolve. They have so many albums. A song that a lot of people are familiar with, and it's called Map Change. This album came out in 2016, and they've been around since 1998, right? Their last album, which I really hope is not the last album that these guys make, because as we know, they all broke up. I'm optimistic that, you know, after some things, you know, they'll reunite, amend their relationships between the brothers. Yeah, this is their last album, and this song is called Thing with Feathers. And a lot of core bands tend to drift and try something different, which is risky. But this band kind of stays relatively the same kind of sound, but just keeps refining on it. Ten bands that age like milk. That's a good one. I love that, man. So next up is a very popular metalcore band. I know a ghost! So this is Devil Wears Prada, and that's their song Danger Wildman. These guys were actually notorious for being almost like kind of a cheesy metalcore band back in the day, but they were huge. They were a Christian metalcore band, and they blew up. I first discovered them with this song, and honestly, this song still slams. Now cue the synth. Act is from 2019, and look how much these guys have changed. This album was a big change for the band, and a lot of fans started losing interest. I kind of did, to be honest, too. Devil Wears Prada just kept putting out albums. Although the music was good, I just wasn't really getting pulled in. That's until the Zombie 2 EP. At the time of the onset! So yeah, Devil Wears Prada went back to the metalcore roots on their new EP, and it's so good because they're taking the mature kind of like clean vocals that they had in the Act and other ideas, but they're kind of mixing it with their like old style metalcore a little bit. All right, next up on the list, Dorben Globen. You're right, sir. So I gotta put Thrice here because just like Every Time I Die, they have aged like fine wine. But I talk about Thrice a lot because I find them extremely underrated, but a lot of bands know them, are influenced by them. But they first sounded like this. So just giving you guys an idea of their energy back in the day. So this is their song Cold Cash, Cold Hearts. And then only 2 years years later, 2005, they totally changed their style, and that's when they lost a lot of fans, because Thrice was actually really popular in 2003, but I still enjoyed their music, and honestly, the album after that, to me, like I said in my previous video, 10 out of 10 albums, Visu is a 10 out of 10 album, and this song is not even on the album, it's a B-side. These guys are one of the few bands where their B-sides are just as good as like some of their singles. This song's called Flags of Dawn.
So put away your fear.
So big sound change, right?
Sleep with one eye open and live with both eyes shut.
Now we're moving to 2016. And this song is called Hurricane. Thrice kind of stepped away from post-hardcore and they had some metalcore influence, right? But they kind of stepped into just more rock. See, his voice has gone so much raspier. Dustin's literally the definition of a voice aging like fine wine. For the people that aren't very familiar with Thrice, here's a little fun fact. Here's Dayseeker covering that verse.
No shelter, no shadows, a quiet song of your breath stirs the dark.
But yeah, Thrice is a band that, especially vocally, has aged totally like fine wine. Next up on the list, oh yeah, since 1997, these guys have been around. And I'm talking about Norma Jean. And then moving 2000 and 2006 with their album Redeemer, they got a new vocalist, Corey, who's still the vocalist of the band today. But their more recent albums are awesome. This song, I freaking love this song, man. This is from their 2016 album, Polar Similar. Their old music was a lot more like mathy. I think they work better, a little bit more structured. And the guitar riffs in this band are fucking great. This is off their latest record. This was my album of the year in 2019, and this song is called Mind Over Mind. We're taking a little break from core, and this band is still considered core a little bit, but moving into prog. Man, Periphery is one of the most important bands to the scene that we listen to because, like Misha and them, they're self-produced. And obviously, we're seeing a huge rise in bedroom musicians that are producing really quality music. And like Northlane and a whole bunch of other bands, like Bad Omens, are self-producing their stuff. And I think Periphery led the way. There could be other bands for sure, but Periphery kind of led the way with Misha's amazing take at just like production. And it still sounds really good. Like, I friggin' love this song. Like I was just saying, 2010, their production still sounds really good, but these guys have just kind of gone a little bit better. Their songwriting has gone a little bit tighter. Spencer's vocals has gone a lot better too. This is my all-time favorite Periphery song. Nothing's been able to top it. And that is Stranger Things. Reptile is considered a masterpiece to many. So obviously, long build-up intro. We got a bridge with the sixth vocalist. Some awesome breakdowns to end the song. Yeah, so Periphery is one of those bands that just continues to get better too, and I'm excited for the next record. I think they're recording it too, which has me excited. Next one is a band that I've been talking about, you know, a lot lately. That's because they put out an album recently that is very divisive. I love it, but these guys started off sounding a lot different, and that is Northlane. I do miss Adrian's lows. I gotta be honest, man. But Northlane, dude, it's gonna be a little bit more of a hot take because a lot of people don't like the stuff with Marcus. Because, like, honestly, the stuff with Adrian feels like almost a different band. And this song's called Quantum Flux, and this is one of their best songs. It sucks when a band loses a vocalist, but if they can try something new and fresh with a new vocalist, I'm all for it. Like, I think both eras of the band are great.
Set me free!
I understand your point, Otana. You know, Bring Me the Horizon is not on here because Bring Me the Horizon keeps changing their style too much. But I feel like Northlane kind of took the sounds from their old stuff, like here with Rot. So they're still a gent band. And honestly, Rot, I think, is a really, really cool song. Kind of underrated. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Honestly, Northlane with Marcus still is fucking sick to me, man. So they took their style with Adrian and just kind of kept evolving to it. So obviously, Alien was a big sound change where they started adding a lot of electronic sounds. And that's what I mean, where they're kind of like, they're evolving, they're getting better. And honestly, I fucking love Obsidian. So let's just put it on a little bit more. All right, next up. This is a band that also got a new vocalist, but they, just like Northlane, they managed to make it work, man. I love the old stuff. I also love the new stuff. I'm really excited for brand new material from these guys, and I'm talking about Veil Maya. So yeah, Veil Maya, dude, they started as deathcore. I friggin' loved it. The guitar work has always been just stellar. Like, I friggin' love this song. This is the very first song I ever heard from Veil Maya. It's still one of my favorite songs. We all know what they sound like now, but Mikasa, this song's a fucking banger. It's honestly not that different with the harsh vocals. But when you get choruses like this, come on. Someone who loved old Veil Maya and their old songwriting style, this is what I mean. The band ages like fine wine. Sure, they're a little bit different now, but they still have the guitar work that is just super good. Really good vocals, even though there's clean vocals now. But when they know how to be heavy, they can be really fucking heavy. And their brand new song is a nice return to form. Let's move on to the next band, which is a very popular band, and you guys mentioned it at the beginning of the stream. It's Dance Gavin Dance. Dude, I remember hearing this album back in high school and just thinking, those clean vocals, who the hell is that? Like, I was blown away by the vocals. Johnny Craig is such an amazing vocalist. It's unfortunate, like, all the shit that, you know, he's gone through with addiction and everything. But to me, this band has aged like fine wine because through all the eras of the band, they've always been pretty cool. They've always, like, managed to make things work. Like, Dance Gavin Dance, their history with vocalists is all over the place. So Johnny Craig started the band, and then after that got kicked out, and then got Kurt Travis, and this song is fucking great. The song kind of reminds me of like Red Hot Chili Peppers or something a little bit. So Downtown Battle Mountain, the very first one was 2007. This one right here is 2008. So in 1 year, they got a new vocalist and they still managed to make things work. So yeah, after Kurt Travis, he left the band, they brought back Johnny Craig for Downtown Battle Mountain Part 2. But then they really took a different approach with their music once they got Tillion. Like I mentioned in my reaction and reviews, it's my favorite era. For someone who's been listening to Dance Gavin Dance in the very first album, yeah, this band, like I said, ages like fine wine, and I friggin' love this song called We Own the Night. But Tillion, man, he's found a way to just refresh the band in a new way. Like, it's different, and Dance Gavin Dance will always be one of the most unique bands in the scene. They're definitely not for everyone. This song is actually my favorite Dance Gavin Dance song, and it's weird, it's funky, and it's a young robot.
Don't demand it, 'cause baby I can't stand it when you look so pathetic. I can't stop with the
It's just hook after hook after hook after hook. Let's go back to the heavies. Let's go back to the prog. This band continues to get better. Their sound has definitely changed over the years, but you know, like I said, they age like fine wine, and that is the Contortionist. So yeah, and honestly, the album after that, you know, a lot of people didn't really care for it, but it was still pretty good, and it's called Intrinsic. I think that's how you pronounce it. The song Causality is actually pretty interesting. This was their last album with John. And then John left the band, and then that's when they got Michael Lessard. And honestly, they couldn't have picked a better vocalist. So this song, Language 1, is beautiful. So yeah, Michael Lessard's vocals are just beautiful, dude. And some people miss the old deathcore days of the Contortionist. I kind of do. But Michael Lessard brings so much to the table that I'm not even mad. Other than Flourish is actually my favorite Contortionist song, and it's The Parable, but the rediscovered version. So drop some acid and listen to this and watch this music video, and you'll have a trip, man. I've never done it, but if I were, I'd be listening to this. So this is off their last record. They kind of moved more into prog rock territory. They really have abandoned the metal, but they're still good, dude. I don't love this album, but I respect it. Let's move on to the next record, or next band. Ooh. I'm excited to talk about these guys. This band, again, aged like fine wine. They're not a band anymore. They recently broke up, and by recent I mean like a couple of years ago, but they never miss. They're always super insane, and the band that I'm talking about is Dillinger Escape Plan. One of the most iconic breakdowns in just core music in general is 43% Burnt. So yeah, Dillinger is insane, man. But yeah, they came out with a record afterwards, which had the mathcore stuff from this, but then started mixing in some like almost like experimental rock.
First off, let me say tonight.
So this was 2004, right? And yeah, the band just kind of continues to evolve, and this is one of their most popular songs, like you guys mentioned in the chat, Milk Lizard. Very punk rock. They never really drastically changed their music, and even if they did, like, I feel like Dillinger would know what to do. These guys were just smart. They were ahead of the curve. Their music is unmatched. Like, there's no one else that sounds like this band, like, ever. This is their Golden Gods 2013 performance live show. These guys didn't lose their energy at all. Who's doing guest vocals with him? Who's that?
Do what you want. I don't care.
Yeah, buddy. So Chino actually helped them with this performance. Let me skip to the ending of this live show just to show how insane these guys are live. Dillinger shows were something else, dude. These guys were absolutely insane. Like I said, they aged like fine wine because they did not lose their energy. Been a band for almost 20 years and still intense till the very end. That's kind of unheard of. Last up, last band on this list that I have here. I feel like this is a little bit of a cop-out because this isn't a core band where this list is generally core music. But we just saw the vocalist to this band and I feel like it's kind of suiting. But this band has totally aged like fine wine. And I'm talking about Deftones. I freaking love this song too, dude. Change in the House of Flies. Since 1995, and their last record, Ohms, which I did a review for, came out in 2020. These guys just don't miss. This song's called Sex Tape. This is the one album where there was a little bit of a flop in their discography, and that is Gore. I don't know this because I've never listened to Gore, but that's what people say on the internet. Their main single is Heart/Wires. Honestly, I heard the song. It sounds pretty good. Their music is to such high standards that even if they do like a miss, but in terms of what Deftones can do, I guess like this is why this album was a disappointment. But I heard this song. This is actually pretty good. It's not bad. Ohms, their latest album, and honestly, I really like that record. Even this song, the main single, Ohms, a lot of people didn't really care for it, and I'm surprised because I really like this song actually. Yeah, like I said, Ohms is really good, and honestly, their song, The Spell of Mathematics, fucking love this song. I know they don't really fit this list because I was sticking to core bands, but Deftones, they work with core bands quite a bit. It's kind of weird. Like Dance Gavin Dance, for example. Chino has a feature in a Dance Gavin Dance song, so Deftones kind of like works their way into core music, even though they're in like their own genre a little bit of like seductive new alternative metal. I don't know. All right, guys, that is 10 bands that have aged like fine wine. I need a little bit more wine right now. But guys, who's missing on this list? Let me know in the comments.